Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do your brows. The first product I'm using is the Anastasia pomade. It looks like this. And the color that I'm going to be using is soft brown. That's the first product. The second product I'm using is also by Anastasia. It's the tinted brow gel. Looks like this. It kind of has like a mascara wand to it. And this color is in espresso. Okay. Now the first thing you want to do is have a spoolie. And you want to brush your eyebrow hair kind of into place where you like it, and you know that you're gonna follow the shape of your brow. I'm also using a angled eyeliner brush. It looks like this, the tip. The sharper and tighter the bristles are, the better, because then you'll be able to get really clean lines. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take my angled brush and dip it in to the pomade and get a good amount of product on the angled brush. Can't really see it because it blends with the bristles, but then the next thing you're going to do is take your lid and you're going to basically take your angled brush and you're going to do strokes, like almost painting strokes, until you feel you've coated each side of the brush pretty well and the bristles are all in the same direction and they're very tight and covered with product. Okay, so now this is going to be the tricky part because I don't have good filming equipment, so I'll be going back and forth between my mirror and the camera. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to start basically kind of from the middle part of your brow back, and I'll show you what I mean. So following the natural curve of my eyebrow, let me make that line and then I'll come back and show you what I did. Okay, so as you can see, it's much darker. So that was just following the upper portion of my brow. Now I'm going to make my second line, and I'm going to take that and bring it down to meet the end of my brow. Let me do that really quick. All the while, you can play with the amount of product by taking your brush and sort of dipping it back in there. Okay. Okay, so there's my second line. And as you can see, like I have this little patchy spot right here. I'm basically trying to create a shape that is accentuating what I have, but also might be concealing any bald spots. So that's one this way, kind of one that way. Then I play with the product again. Make sure my bristles are nice and covered and that I feel I have a good amount of product, and I'm actually going to go and make what will be my third line. And again, this is going to start basically from the middle of the brow, and it's going to go back and kind of, you know, curve and fill in this down here. So let me do that and then you can see it. Okay, so there's that line. I forgot to mention that the pomade is very creamy, so a little bit goes a long way. And you don't want to push hard. Think brush strokes, like as if you're painting a picture, because basically you are. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the line, you know, that's more towards the front of my brow. This is very, very light strokes. You do not ever want to go heavy towards the front of your brow because it's just not going to look very good. So let me do that line and then I'll show that to you. Okay, so there's the line, and I mean, my camera isn't very good and I don't know if you can tell, but this right here is a lot lighter than this back here. You always want to go darker towards the middle end of the brow and very light towards the front. And also, as you can see, I'm creating again a shape that's not quite there. You can see my patchiness and everything, and that's really what you want to do, is you want to work with what you have, but you also want to fill it in to make it look nice and full-bodied. So I'm going back in again, and this time it's kind of dried out. It's a little bit more sticky, which is fine. And just coating the brush again, and I'm going to do this upper line and just sort of fill that in. Okay, all right, so there's that. You can see that. Okay, now I want a good amount of product on the bristles, because I'm going to do the end towards the center, and like I said, we want that more heavy. So I'll go ahead and basically fill in where I've traced. Oh, crap, my camera fell. Uno momento. Whew, sorry, dropped you there. Okay, so back to what I was saying. We're gonna go ahead and fill in towards the end of the brow to the middle of the brow, and we want a good amount of product for that. So my brush is ready, it's covered in product. I'm gonna go in and fill in, and then I'll show you what I did. Okay, so as you can see, I definitely filled it in, leaving the front undone, because like I said, we want to go darker from the middle back, but then when it gets towards the front, we want to go very, very light with product, especially since this is very creamy, and little goes a long way, so not really adding any more onto the brush. I'm going to go in and basically paint in that portion. Very light brush strokes. Okay, all right, there you go. You can sort of see, right? Yeah, okay. So darker and lighter, and then of course, you know, you can tell a big difference between the two of them. Okay, so now I have to sit down. Okay, so now I'm going to do my other one, and this is where it gets tricky, because typically your brows are not exactly the same, but we want to try and make them obviously as even as possible. So what I like to do is I like to clean my brush. I just use a paper towel and I just literally wipe the excess off the brush. And also with my lid, I clean that out as well before doing my other brow. It just kind of cleans out that product that you used because it definitely gets more dry and sticky, especially the older your Anastasia pomade is, like the less new it is basically. So we're gonna do the same exact thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get pomade on the brush, a nice good amount. And again, you probably can't even really, you can't see it. That's okay. Okay, take your lid and do like the strokes, the painting strokes, and just kind of, it's gonna be really creamy, really soft. Just coating each side so that everything's very nice and even on your brush. Okay. So now doing the other side, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start from the middle and go back. I'm going to make that one line and then I'll show that to you. And then I'll do my other one. So, okay. Okay. So there you go. You can see that line. It's just following on the top of my brow. And now I'm going to play with it again. Just sort of move the pomade around, keep it from drying out too much. And now I'm going to go in and do the other side. Okay, so there's my other side. And as you can see, the way my eyebrows were even shaped before, I definitely have more of a steep arch. So I really, really like to accentuate that. I definitely like a Marilyn Monroe feel when it comes to my brows. Okay, so now I'm gonna go middle back and do that line now, and then I'll show you. Again, very light. When in doubt, use less product until you get the hang of it, and then you can always go back in and darken things up later. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Okay. So there it is. You can see it, and it's definitely coming out good. It's looking pretty uniform with my other one. So now we're gonna do the front of the brow, and remember, I'm not adding any more product to the brush. I'm using what is on there, so I'm not gonna play with what's in my lid. I'm just gonna use what's on here, and I'm gonna use very, very light brush strokes. And I like to actually start from the front and connect, and that's how I do it. You can't see me doing it, but that's how I do it. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so there it is. Came out a little bit darker than I wanted, but that's okay. The great thing about pomade is you can play with it because it's like paint in a way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the top portion and just fill that in. Again, not adding any to the brush. Just using what's there. Okay, so there's the shape. Again, as you can see, like I have all of my bald, patchy sort of spots. Okay, So now we're gonna go back and we're gonna fill it in. So remember, we want to go from the middle back darker. So I'm gonna pick up more on my brush and really play with it, because you know, really coat the bristles, go back and forth and until everything feels really smooth and you got a lot of product on there, and then you go back and you fill in basically within the lines. And again, you're using, you can't see me, but you're basically using brush strokes as if you would a paintbrush. I'm getting some more. Okay, all right, so there you can see the back is nice and filled in, and now I'm gonna go ahead and not add any more to the brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the front of my brow. I like to do like little brush. Actually, let me see if I can do this so you can see it. I don't know, am I that good? Let's see. Okay, so I basically like to do little brush strokes. Oh, there we go. Little brush strokes up and just sort of fill it lightly in. If it is more patchy in the front, that's okay. You typically don't want to fill it in too much, even if it is patchy, because you want to kind of give the appearance that you have less hair there, because that's how real brows are anyway. Okay, so that is the pomade. But the step that I like to take is now adding the tinted brow gel. And the reason I do this is because you can't tell on the camera, but it gives a 3D effect. So basically, like, versus just your brow being filled in with color, this takes your hair and darkens it and makes it look almost like your brows have mascara on them in a way, but it makes your real hair stand out, so it makes it look more natural. And that's always what I like to go for, is more of a natural looking brow. I don't like it looking like it literally they're tattooed on. So again, so this is what this looks like, and I just get off any excess, and you're literally gonna put it on as if you would mascara. So you're gonna, but even lighter. You're gonna start really light, and you're gonna go from the front, kind of like this, and work your way towards the back, okay? So here let me see if you can see. So here it is before the brow gel, okay? Now let me go ahead and put it on, and then I'll show you what it looks like with it. Okay, so here's my brow now with it. Now you can see all the individual hair, and the camera's not very good, but well, here, see my hair there? And you can sort of see my hair there. But look at the difference. It's actually standing up, and it has like a 3D effect to it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and do my other side. And remember, really light strokes, because it is colored. Okay, And now there it is after. So you can definitely see my individual hair. And yeah, maybe there's a couple of spots where it's not 100% filled in. Like you can sort of see maybe a little bit of patchiness here or through here. But the thing is that's actually how real brows are anyway. And you don't want them to look completely tattooed on, because then that just looks weird and unattractive. So, okay. So the last step, holy crap, 20-minute video, you're gonna hate me. So the last step that I like to do with my brows is basically go in and taper underneath with a flesh colored, this is just an eyeliner, I think. Yeah. But okay, so I'll show you what I do. Like, yeah, let me trace it and then I'll show you what